Good morning, it's Luke, the Urban Farmer, and I haven't made a video in a long time, so I figured we're overdue. So we're going to take a tour of the 2024 Victory Garden. So today is June 12th, 2024. So I'll start right here. Uh, Potatoes. Potatoes are one of the easiest crops to grow. You kind of plant them and forget them. Just keep them watered and fertilized. They're resistant to all pests. Um, the leaves are toxic, so nothing bothers them. Um, and they are heavy feeders, so make sure that they're fed throughout the season. Um, and make sure that your soil is nice and loose, um, so that you get nice big potatoes. Um, and then over here, we've got sweet potatoes growing in containers. And I've done that before, and it's really easy. The difference with sweet potatoes is that the leaves are edible. Um, and they're, I've got about 12 to 14 or so inches of soil. And when it comes time to harvest in, late, probably mid-September, all you have to do is dump the containers. No digging required. Lots of herbs. We've got carrots in containers over here. I plant carrots in these um, wooden, like, apple crate boxes every year and get really good results because the soil is nice and loose again. Lettuce, which I've been harvesting for weeks and weeks now. Over here, various hot peppers in pots. And hot peppers do really well in pots, or peppers in general do really well in pots. And if you want, you can bring them indoors and overwinter them. Okay, onward. So we've got a rain barrel, which is great if you want to fill a water bucket quickly or wash your hands. Um, it's a great thing to have in your garden. Also conserves and saves rainwater, which cuts down on the water that you have to get from your well or from the city. This year I planted sweet corn. I've never planted sweet corn. I've always grown like either an ornamental corn or a flint corn, something like that. But this year I decided to grow sweet corn. You may think it's planted too closely, but that's on purpose because corn needs to pollinate. Um, and the closer you've got things together in some respects, the better pollination you'll get. So if you've got a small space, don't plant in like one single long row, plant in like a block. And then hand pollinate things when it comes time to do that. Each silk from a corn husk is connected to a kernel, and unless each silk gets pollinated, you'll have misshapen corn and poorly formed corn. Onward. Herbs again. The oregano just takes over, comes back every year. It's beautiful. It's kind of taking over my sage and my parsley and basil, but that's all right. Over here, more carrots in a container. Lettuce is kind of on the end of its run. And in the back here, we've got something I planted for the first time this year, broccoli rabe, which is delicious. And then as I harvested radishes, you can probably see I've got bush beans planted in here, and when I pull out these lettuces or finish harvesting them, I'll plant more beans along here. This is a container that I started last year with a hugelkultur method. So the bottom layer is like logs and then branches, grass clippings, yard debris, some straw from rabbit hutches, so there's a lot of natural nitrogen-rich manure in there, leaves, some garden dirt, and then topping it off with some decent container mix and fertilizer mixed in there as well. And as it all breaks down, it creates new soil. So it contains a lot of, retains a lot of moisture. It doesn't require a lot of watering, and the stuff grows abundantly in it. So check out my hugelkultur book if you haven't already to get advice on how you can do your own hugelkultur container or raised bed. Cucumbers in grow bags. These are various types of pickling cucumbers, and dill in a container. Lots of dill that just kind of seeds itself every year. So you never really have to buy new dill or grow new dill because it seeds itself. Peas, which you can see, are starting to form pods. And I've never really had a successful pea harvest before, but this year I made sure I had good support. I planted a couple of varieties of peas. I soaked the peas first in water for like 6 hours or 8 hours to help improve germination, and then I really planted them densely. I've always kind of planted them spaced far apart, but for a small space and for an abundant harvest, you need to kind of plant your peas close together. So we've got a lot of flowers, and we've got pea pods that are starting to form, so we'll have peas by the 4th of July. We've got some rhubarb over here, which I'm going to harvest pretty soon and make some rhubarb sauce or something. And then, a whole different bunch of tomatoes. So I'm just going to sit down for a minute and talk about the tomatoes. So I've got mostly all indeterminate varieties. Mortgage Lifter, Giant Crimson, which I started from seed, Black Crim, which I started from seed, Red Pear, which is a plum or paste tomato, which I started from seed. Right here in front of us is Super Sweet 100 cherry tomato, and that's growing the fastest of all. And then another indeterminate variety, Better Boy, and then 2 determinate varieties, Rutgers and Celebrity. So, and for the indeterminate varieties, they just continue growing and growing and growing. So I kind of keep them single staked to some degree. I'll let them branch out into multiple stems a little bit later, but for now I'm focusing on single stemming them. The determinate ones, which is this one right here, is a determinate variety. It's Rutgers. They kind of grow to a certain height, that's it, maybe about 3 to 4 feet, and they produce kind of all their tomatoes pretty much all at once. So once you get your harvest, it's kind of one and done, as opposed to the indeterminate varieties, which most people grow, I would think. They'll just keep growing taller and taller and creating shoots and sprouts and this and that, and keep producing fruit over a longer period of time. So I guess I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tomato plants. So there'd be a lot of canning down the road. Jordan wants me to make pizza sauce, so I guess 12. I missed one. Pizza sauce will take a lot of tomatoes, but it'll be delicious. And I don't really think I'm missing anything. As far as vegetables, I think that's about it. I've laid down a good layer of mulch this year, which I usually don't do. I have a feeling it's going to be a long, hot, dry summer come July and August here in the Northeast. This will help retain moisture and keep the weeds down, and it will break down and, enrich the soil over time. Be careful when you're mulching. Most of the mulch you get at like hardware stores, garden centers, big box stores is like cut up, chopped up, like old pallet wood and stuff like that, and recycle crap. So try to get something as natural as possible, like shredded wood mulch from pine or cedar or hemlock, something like that, which is more organic. It's unless you've got a tree company nearby that cuts down and chops up trees, that would be the best alternative to get like a really natural, organic sort of mulch. But otherwise, if you're buying from a store, just read the labels and look for something that's not dyed, that's not tinted, that's not red, that's not black, but something that contains as much natural shredded wood as possible. Don't use rubber mulch. You can use landscaping mulch, you know, the landscaping cloth. I've never done that. You can use straw, which does not have seeds. Hay, don't use that because it does have seeds and you'll be going crazy pulling weeds from your garden all summer and fall. But it's a beautiful day here today. I hope you're enjoying your garden this year. I hope life and your garden are both abundant. And this is Luke the Urban Farmer signing out. We'll see you soon. Peace.